Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. Today I'm going to recap last night's Game 4 between the Rockets and the Warriors. Look ahead to tonight's Game 5 between the Cavaliers and the Celtics and pick tonight's Game 7 between the Capitals and the Lightning. Go over all the baseball action from yesterday. Look ahead to today's action. Go over my 2012 NFL ReDraft. Go over a big NFL injury that happened yesterday. And I'll go over the best under-the-radar moves made by every baseball team so far that's panning out. All right, here we go. The Rockets defeated the Warriors 95-92 to even up this series at 2 games apiece. This is a brand new series now. Give the Rockets credit. They were down 12-0 to begin the game. They were down 12 points in the beginning of the fourth quarter. They rallied back and took the lead and went back and forth with the Warriors. And Chris Paul made some big shots down the stretch. James Harden did have his second half struggles, but he did hit a couple big shots. Eric Gordon hit a big 3 late in this game. The Warriors were sloppy with the ball. Stephen Curry missed a layup. But give the Rockets all the credit in the world. They deserve to win this game. This is a brand new series now. 2-2. Best of 3. Rockets have home court advantage. Bring it on. I cannot wait for Game 5, which will be tomorrow night. James Harden, 30 points and 4 assists in the win. Stephen Curry put up 28 points in defeat. And tonight you have Game 5 between the Cavaliers and the Celtics. 8:30 ESPN. Mike Breen, Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Doris Burke from TD Garden in Boston. This is going to be a great game. I think Boston's going to show up. They are home. Their team just plays better at home, especially the role players like the Marcus Smarts of the world and Aaron Baines. Their stars are going to show up. Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier. Those guys are going to show up too. But the other side has the best player on the court, and that's LeBron James. This is hard to pick against the Celtics in Boston, where they're 9-0 so far in these playoffs. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's say 116-114, and LeBron James hits a buzzer beater to win the game to send the Cavs up 3-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals. So give me the Cavaliers 116-114 on a buzzer beater by LeBron. I'm calling it right now. Let's see how that works out. All right. Stanley Cup playoffs. Capitals Lightning. Game 7. 8 o'clock. NBCSN. Doc Emrick. Eddie Olczyk. Peter McGuire on the call. This is going to be another great game. A huge game. The biggest game in the history of Washington Capitals franchise. Tampa Bay, their biggest game of the year. They've had a lot of big games in their franchise's history. This is probably among them. Steven Stamkos, Alex Ovechkin are going to show up for this game. This is going to be a great game. Give me Tampa Bay 3-2 to move on to their first Stanley Cup Finals since 2015, which would be their second one in 4 years. Steven Stamkos, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Tyler Johnson, Victor Hedman, Ryan McDonough, Dan Girardi, Mikhail Sergachev, Anton Strowman. All those guys are going to be ready. Give me 3-2 Tampa Bay, overtime goal by Steven Stamkos. I think this goes to overtime. Be classic Capitals of them to lose in Game 7 in overtime. Very typical Capitals of them. So yeah, give me 3-2 Capitals in overtime on a goal by Steven Stamkos, and I won't be shocked if this goes to double overtime. I expect this to be one hell of a game tonight. Baseball. Results from last night. The Indians destroyed the Cubs 10-1. I had the Indians on the podcast. That was the lone pick I got correct. Big win for Cleveland to get back to 500 at 23-23. The Cubs dropped to 25-20. Trevor Bauer with the win. Tyler Chatwood with the loss. Top of the third, a 3-run home run by Jose Ramirez. 3-0 Indians. Sacrifice by Roberto Perez, 4-0 Indians. Top of the fourth, RBI double. Melky Cabrera, 5-0 Indians. 2-run single, Jason Kipnis, 7-0 Indians. Top of the 5th, a 3-run double by Yonder Alonso, 10-0 Indians. Bottom of the 9th, home run Ian Happ, 10-1 Indians was your final. Trevor Bauer was awesome. 6 innings, 7 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 2.35 ERA. Tyler Chatwood had his worst start of the year, 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 walks, and a strikeout. Leaves the game with a 3.74 ERA. Mike Montgomery was not very good in relief either. The Nationals defeated the Padres 2-1 as they improved to 26-21. San Diego drops to 20-30. Sean Doolittle with the win. Matt Strahm with the loss. Top of the 4th, a home run by Frankie Cordero. 1-0 Padres. Bottom of the 5th, home run Bryce Harper. 1-1. Bottom of the 9th, a walk-off double by Michael A. Taylor. 2-1 Nationals is your final. Jeremy Hellickson, 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, and earned run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 2.13 ERA. He left the game with a blister, but he seems to be okay. Eric Lauer was pretty good too. 6 innings, 6 hits, and earned run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 6.67 ERA. The Braves defeated the Phillies 3-1 as they improved to 29-18. The Phillies dropped to 27-19. Brandon McCarthy with the win. Vince Velasquez with the loss. Arodys Viciano with the save. Top of the 3rd, home run Ozzie Albies. 1-0 Braves. Top of the 5th, Fielder's Choice, Nick Markakis, 2-0 Braves. Bottom of the 5th, RBI single, Cesar Hernandez, 2-1 Braves. Top of the 9th, RBI single, Ronald Acuna Jr., 3-1 Braves is your final. Brandon McCarthy was really good, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.67 ERA. Vince Velasquez, 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.18 ERA. The Blue Jays defeated the Angels 5-3 to snap their losing streak. They improved to 23-25. The Angels dropped to 26-22. J.A. Happ with the win. Garrett Richards with the loss. Tyler Clippard with the save. Bottom of the 1st, all Blue Jays. RBI single, Teoscar Hernandez. 1-0 Blue Jays. Russell Martin safe on the error by the right fielder, Chris Young, as 2 runs scored. 3-0 Blue Jays. Home run Kendrys Morales, a 2-run shot. 5-0 Blue Jays. Top of the 4th, RBI single, Albert Pujols, 5-1 Blue Jays. RBI ground out, and Andrelton Simmons, 5-2 Blue Jays. Top of the 8th, sacrifice fly, Ian Kinsler, 5-3 Blue Jays was your final. J.A. Happ was awesome, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.97 ERA. Garrett Richards, 5 innings, 6 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.31 ERA. The Reds defeated the Pirates 7-2 as they improved to 17-32. The Pirates dropped to 26-21. Matt Harvey with the win. Jamison Taillon with the loss. Bottom of the 1st, RBI double, Scooter Gennett. 1-0 Reds. RBI double, Eugenio Suarez. 2-0 Reds. Top of the 4th, home run Colin Moran. 2-1 Reds. Bottom of the 5th, grand slam, Scooter Gennett. 6-1 Reds. Top of the 7th, home run Austin Meadows, 6-2 Reds. Bottom of the 7th, sacrifice fly Scooter Gennett, 7-2 Reds. Your final. Matt Harvey was awesome. 6 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.49 ERA. Jamison Taillon was not good. 6 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.56 ERA. The Marlins defeated the Mets 5-1 as they improved to 18-30. The Mets dropped to 24-20. Caleb Smith with the win, Zach Wheeler with the loss. Top of the 2nd, RBI single, Miguel Rojas, 1-0 Marlins. RBI single, JT Realmuto that drove in 2, 3-0 Marlins. Bottom of the 2nd, sacrifice fly, Tomas Nido, 3-1 Marlins. Top of the 8th, a 2-run home run by Derek Dietrich, 5-1 Marlins was your final. Caleb Smith pitched okay, 6 2/3 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.83 ERA. Zach Wheeler, 6 innings, 7 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.32 ERA. The Red Sox defeated the Rays 4-2 as they improved to 33-15. The Rays dropped to 22-24. Chris Sale with the win. Jacob Faria with the loss. Craig Kimbrell with the save. Top of the 3rd, a 3-run home run by Mookie Betts. 3-0 Red Sox. Bottom of the 4th, the first career home run of Willie Adames, the prospect I called up yesterday. 3-1 Red Sox. Bottom of the 5th, sacrifice fly, Daniel Robertson. 3-2 Red Sox. Top of the 6th, the home run by Rafael Devers. 4-2 Sox is your final. Chris Sale, 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.17 ERA. Jacob Faria only went 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.48 ERA. The Brewers defeated the Diamondbacks 1-0 as they improved to 30-19. The Diamondbacks dropped to 25-23. Matt Albers with the win, Matthew Koch with the loss, Corey Nebel with the save. The lone run in this game came on a sacrifice fly by Domingo Santana in the bottom of the 6th inning to give the Brewers a 1-0 lead. 1-0 on this game. The umpiring was atrocious. And you can make a case, if it wasn't for the bad calls, that the Diamondbacks could have won this game. And I'm talking about in the 9th inning when Nebel was out there getting the saves. Angel Hernandez was the home plate umpire. He's the worst umpire in the league by a mile. The Rangers defeated the Yankees 6-4 as they improved to 19-31. The Yankees dropped to 31-14. Cole Hamels with the win. Domingo Germán with the loss. Keone Kela with the save. Bottom of the first, a 3-run home run by Jerks and Profar. Bottom of the second, Robinson Chirino scores on the wild pitch as Ryan Rua strikes out swinging. 4-0 Rangers. RBI ground out Nomar Mazara. 5-0 Rangers. Top of the third, home run Gleyber Torres. 5-1 Rangers. Bottom of the fourth, home run Ronald Guzman. 6-1 Rangers. Top of the seventh, home run Miguel Andujar. 6-2 Rangers. Top of the eighth, a 2-run home run by Austin Romine. 6-4 Rangers was your final. Domingo Germán for the Yanks in defeat. 3 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.59 ERA. Cole Hamels was excellent in what could be perhaps his audition for the Yankees if they were to go out and acquire him at the trading deadline. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.38 ERA. One note about this game, Gary Sanchez left the game in the 7th inning. The Yes Network caught him kind of limping when he was running around the bases, so they took him out of the game. Hopefully it's just a day-to-day thing. Also, Aaron Boone got his first career ejection as there was a bad strike call on Gary Sanchez, and Boone went out to argue, and he got his first career ejection as Yankees manager. So let's see how Sanchez holds up, and hopefully he avoids the disabled list. The White Sox defeated the Orioles 3-2 as they improved to 14-31. The Orioles dropped to 15-33. Bruce Rondon with the win. Michael Givens with the loss. Nate Jones with the save. Top of the second, RBI double. Mark Trumbo, 1-0 Orioles. RBI ground out Jace Peterson, 2-0 Orioles. Bottom of the eighth, here come the White Sox. RBI single, Wellington Castillo, 2-1 Orioles. Sacrifice fly, Yoan Moncada ties it up at 2 apiece. RBI single, Yolmer Sanchez. 3-2 White Sox was your final. James Shields, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.62 ERA. Kevin Gausman, 6 1/3 innings, 9 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 10 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.48 ERA. The Twins defeated the Tigers 6-0 as they improved to 21-23. Detroit drops to 20-28. Lance Lynn with the win. Matthew Boyd with the loss. Bottom of the fifth, RBI double by Yair Andrianza. 1-0 Twins. RBI double that drove in 2 for Brian Dozier. 3-0 Twins. Bottom of the seventh, ground rule double Yair Adrianzana. 4-0 Twins. RBI single Byron Buxton. 5-0 Twins. RBI double Brian Dozier. 6-0 Twins was your final. Lance Lynn had his best start of the year. 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 6.34 ERA. Matthew Boyd, 4 innings, a hit, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and no strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.29 ERA. The Astros defeated the Giants 11-2 as they improved to 31-18. The Giants dropped to 24-25. Garrett Cole with the win. Andrew Schwartz with the loss. Bottom of the third, RBI double Max Stassi, 1-0 Astros. RBI single George Springer, 2-0 Astros. RBI double Alex Bregman, 3-0 Astros. Bottom of the fourth, 2-run single Tony Kemp, 5-0 Astros. Top of the fifth, a 2-run home run by Brandon Crawford. 5-2 Astros. Bottom of the 6th, sacrifice fly Tony Kemp, 6-2 Astros. RBI double Alex Bregman, 7-2 Astros. 2-run single Jose Altuve, 9-2 Astros. Bottom of the 7th, 2-run single Tony Kemp, 11-2 Astros. That was your final. Garrett Cole, another great game. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 1.86 ERA. Andrew Suarez, 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.68 ERA. Fun fact about this game, Brandon Crawford and Garrett Cole are brothers-in-law, and Crawford homered off of Cole. The relationship there is that Garrett Cole's wife is Brandon Crawford's sister. So that should be an interesting Thanksgiving. The Royals defeated the Cardinals 5-1 as they improved to 15-33. St. Louis drops to 16-20. Jason Hamill with the win, Luke Weaver with the loss. Bottom of the 1st, Jose Martinez steals home as Marcell Ozuna stole 2nd, 1-0 Cardinals. Top of the 2nd, home run Alex Gordon, 1-1. Top of the 4th, RBI double Alcides Escobar, 2-1 Royals. Top of the 6th, home run Salvador Perez, 3-1 Royals. Top of the 9th, 2-run single John Jay, 5-1 Royals is your final. Jason Hamill, 7 innings, 9 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.7 ERA. Luke Weaver, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.31 ERA. The Dodgers defeated the Rockies 5-3 as they improved to 21-27. The Rockies dropped to 26-23. JT Charagois with the win, Brian Shaw with the loss, Kenley Jansen with the save. Bottom of the 1st, RBI single Matt Kemp, 1-0 Dodgers. Bases loaded walk Yasiel Puig, 2-0 Dodgers. Top of the 2nd, home run Ian Desmond, 2-1. Top of the 3rd, RBI single Nolan Arenado, 2-2. Top of the 6th, RBI single Ian Desmond gave the Rockies a 3-2 lead. Bottom of the 6th, here come the Dodgers. 2-run home run Chris Taylor, 4-3 Dodgers lead. Home run Puig, 5-3 Dodgers. That's your final. Brock Stewart started the game, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout. Leaves the game with a 3.72 ERA. Chad Bettis, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.3 ERA. The Mariners defeated the Athletics 3-2 in 10 innings as they improved to 28-19. The Athletics dropped to 25-23. Nick Vincent with the win. Yasmario Petit with the loss. Edwin Diaz with the save. Bottom of the 4th, RBI grounder into a double play by Matt Chapman, scores in a run. 1-0 A's. Bottom of the 5th, RBI single Marcus Semien, 2-0 A's. Top of the 7th, a game-tying home run by Mike Zunino, 2-2. Top of the 10th, RBI double by Guillermo Heredia, 3-2 Mariners is your final. Mike Leake, 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.46 ERA. Trevor Cahill pitched pretty well. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 2.75 ERA. Today's games you have Diamondbacks Brewers, Zach Godley and Brett Sutter. Tigers Twins, Michael Fulmer and Kyle Gibson. Royals Cardinals, Jacob Junis and Michael Wacha. Giants Astros, Jeff Samardzija and Justin Verlander. Padres Nationals, Tyson Ross and Eric Feed. Braves Phillies, Luis Gorhara and Jake Arrieta. Angels Blue Jays, Tyler Skaggs and Aaron Sanchez. Yankees Rangers, CC Sabathia and Doug Fister. Marlins Mets, Dan Straley and Jacob deGrom. Pirates Reds, Chad Cole and Homer Bailey. Red Sox Rays, David Price and Chris Archer. Indians Cubs, Adam Pluko and John Lester. Orioles White Sox, Alex Cobb and Dylan Covey. Mariners Athletics, Marco Gonzalez and Daniel Gousset. And Rockies Dodgers, you have Kyle Freeland and Kenta Maeda. Before I get to my best sneaky moves of the offseason, 2 things for the NFL. Hunter Henry of the Chargers tore his ACL. That is a huge loss for them in that offense. They're probably going to bring back Antonio Gates. If they do that, I think the Chargers will be fine. But again, that's a big loss for the Los Angeles Chargers. And breaking NFL news, there's a new anthem policy. All personnel on the field must stand. Personnel have option to stay in the locker room, and teams will be fined for violating the policy. This is an excellent rule. I am against players kneeling or sitting for the national anthem, and I absolutely love this rule. We'll get into this more on a future podcast. Now I'm going to do my best sneaky moves in baseball over the winter. And there's a couple of them, and some of them haven't really panned out, but some of them are these gut feelings that I think they will eventually pan out. The Diamondbacks, John Ryan Murphy, he's been a nice backup catcher for them. He's bounced around a little bit. He came up with the Yankees, backed up for them in 2015. And then they shipped him to Minnesota for Aaron Hicks. He flamed out in Minnesota, and he was released, and the Diamondbacks picked him up, and he's been pretty solid for Arizona. The Atlanta Braves, Brandon McCarthy has pitched very well for them and is making a case to stay in that rotation all season long. He's a veteran, and he's been pretty good. The Orioles, Andrew Cashner, he's somebody that I think they will cash in at the trading deadline. He's been pretty good for them. The Red Sox, bringing back Eduardo Nunez. He's been pretty solid for them while they wait for Dustin Pedroia to come back. The Cubs, despite a rough game last night, Tyler Chatwood, they brought him in to be their number 5 starter. He's been pretty solid. The Chicago White Sox, Wellington Castillo, somebody that's been their catcher this year and has had some hits for them. The Cincinnati Reds, this one's an in-season acquisition, but I'm still going to count it. Matt Harvey, who's pitched pretty well in 2 of their starts and had a dud in the other one for the Reds. The 2 good starts were against the Dodgers in LA and last night against the Pirates at home. We'll see if he rebuilds value with the Reds and they could possibly flip him at the trading deadline to somebody. The Indians, Yonder Alonso, everybody thought this was a bad signing as he kind of flopped in the second half after being an all-star in the first half. And he's looked pretty good for them, made some good, nice plays at first base and got some big hits for them so far. The Rockies, this one hasn't worked out yet, really. Maybe I'm just judging on last night. But Brian Shaw, I think eventually this will be a good acquisition because I really couldn't think of another good acquisition that the Rockies have had this offseason that's really panned out, and I mean under the radar one. The Detroit Tigers, Francisco Liriano, he's somebody that's pitched pretty well for them, as I think they'll flip him at the trading deadline for some prospects. The Astros, Joe Smith, has pitched pretty well out of the bullpen this year. The Royals, Lucas Duda, who's currently on the disabled list. He had a couple big hits for the Royals, as I think he'll be somebody that gets moved this summer. The Angels, Zach Cozart, has been a nice addition for them at third base. The Dodgers, bringing back Matt Kemp. That move didn't get that much attention because they did that kind of for salary down purposes to get rid of Brandon McCarthy's contract. And Kemp's played his way into the starting lineup for the Dodgers. The Marlins, Cameron Maben, he hasn't really hit that much, but he's a veteran. Won't be shocked if he heats up and ends up getting moved at the trading deadline. The Brewers, Tyler Saladino, he was awesome on the White Sox. The Brewers picked him up to be a role player for them, and I think he'll last a little bit. The Twins, Logan Morrison, he got off to a slow start, but he's starting to heat up. The Mets, in-season acquisition, Devin Mesoraco, he's made an immediate impact and upgrade at catcher for them after they suffered some injuries behind the plate. The Yankees, Neil Walker, after his slow start, he's starting to get some big hits for the Yanks. The Athletics, Stephen Piscotty, he's had some nice moments for the A's. The Phillies, this is somebody they got last year but barely played for them. That's Pedro Florian. He's been a nice role player for that Phillies team. The Pirates, Corey Dickerson, he's got some big hits for them this year. The Cardinals, this one's easy. Miles McCollum, who they brought in to be their number 5 starter as they waited for Alex Reyes to come back. He's been outstanding. The Padres, Tyson Ross, he's been pretty good in their rotation. He'll be traded this summer. San Francisco, Tony Watson. Watson's been pretty solid out of the pen for the Giants. Maybe he's a trade asset if the Giants fall out of contention. The Mariners, Ryan Healy, who missed some time earlier in the year, has heated up pretty well in May. The Rays, C.J. Cron, who's been a nice addition to that offense. The Texas Rangers, Bartolo Colon, despite not pitching well in his last start, he's been the Rangers' best starter this year. The Toronto Blue Jays, Yangervis Solarte, he was one of their under-the-radar pickups this offseason. He's done great playing in their infield. Has double-digit home runs already. And Matt Adams of the Nationals has been tremendous for Washington. That's one of their best pickups. They've had a couple of them. Matt Adams, Mark Reynolds, and Jeremy Hellickson. Now I'm going to do the 2012 NFL redraft. Couple controversial ones in here, but let's get to it. Number 1, Colts, Andrew Luck. Yes, Luck over Wilson to this day still. Even though Luck's been injury prone, the Colts don't do a do-over here. 2, Redskins, Russell Wilson. They do a do-over here as Wilson has emerged as one of the better players from this draft. He was a steal at where the Seahawks took him, and he's a Super Bowl champion, and he's one of the biggest stars in the league. 3, Cleveland Browns, Fletcher Cox. Cox has emerged as one of the better defensive linemen in the league. 4, Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Funny how things work out. Kirk Cousins was a steal at where the Redskins took him. I believe it was in the 4th round. And then the Redskins eventually let him go in free agency, and he signs with the Vikings. So it's funny how things work out here. 5, the Jaguars, Bobby Wagner. Wagner's been a great player on the Seahawks defense for these past couple years. He would have been a nice fit on the Jags. 6, Cowboys, Luke Kuechly. That would have been a good pick for the Cowboys as Kuechly has been a great player for the Panthers these last couple years. 7, Bucks, Melvin Ingram. Ingram's one of the more underrated defensive players in the league. He would have been great on the Bucks. 8, Dolphins, Nick Foles. The Dolphins do a do-over as Ryan Tannehill's been injury-prone these last couple years. Foles is a Super Bowl champion despite his erratic play before this year. Number 9, the Panthers, Mitchell Schwartz. Schwartz has been a great O-lineman in the league, and he would have been a nice addition on the Panthers. 10, Bills, David DeCastro, one of the better O-linemen in the league. 11, Chiefs, Alshon Jeffrey. He'd be their number 1 receiver easily right now. 12, Eagles, Harrison Smith. He'd be a good addition in that defense. Number 12, the Cardinals, Kelly Osmeli, one of the more underrated players from that draft. Number 14, the Rams, Brandon Brooks, one of the more underrated offensive linemen in this draft. Number 15, Seahawks, Cordy Glenn. That would have been a good pick, as Glenn's been a steady lineman these last couple years. 16, Jets, Malik Jackson, one of the more underrated D linemen in the league, as he went from the Broncos to the Jaguars. Would have been solid on the Jets. 17, the Bengals, Damon Harrison, one of the more underrated D linemen. Has never made a Pro Bowl, ironically enough. That's really weird, because Harrison's so steady. He was a great Jet. He's been solid on the Giants. 18, the Chargers, Olivier Vernon, one of the more underrated defensive linemen in the league. He didn't have a good year last year. He was injured a lot last year. But I expect him to have a bounce-back season on the Giants this upcoming season. 19, the Bears, Chandler Jones. Jones is one of the more underrated defensive players in the league. I think the Patriots regret trading him away to the Cardinals. 20, the Titans, Dante Hightower. Hightower's been a good player for the Patriots these last couple of years. He'd be fine on the Titans too. 21, the Patriots, Whitney Merciless. Merciless is one of the more underrated defensive players in the league. He's overshadowed due to J.J. Watt's presence on that Houston Texans defense. 22, the Cleveland Browns, Tashawn Gibson, one of the more underrated defensive backs in the league. 23, Detroit Lions, Casey Hayward. Hayward's been a very underrated player in this league the last couple of years. 24, the Steelers, Stephon Gilmore. Gilmore did not have a good year last year with the Pats. I expect him to have a bounce-back year. He certainly would have been nice on the Steelers. 25, the Patriots, Josh Norman. Norman had that one great year at Carolina, signed the big deal with the Redskins, has been a little mediocre since going to the Redskins in free agency. He would have been a nice player on the Pats. 26, the Texans, Janoris Jenkins, another underrated defensive back from this draft. He didn't have a good year with the Giants last year, though, but he was a Pro Bowler a few years ago. He certainly would have been a nice fit on the Texans. 27, the Cincinnati Bengals, Dontari Poe. Poe is a great player on the Chiefs. He was great on the Falcons last year. He would have been a nice fit on the Bengals. 28, Green Bay Packers, Mike Daniels. Funny how things work out as the Packers get their guy. 29, Minnesota Vikings, Levante David. That would have been a nice fit there, as David's been an underrated player on the Bucs these last couple years. 30, the San Francisco 49ers, Michael Hendricks, who was just released by the Eagles. He's going to get picked up by somebody. He's a good player. 31, Tampa Bay Bucks, Tremaine Johnson. Johnson's a really good player, as he signed with the Jets this winter in free agency. 32, the Giants, T.Y. Hilton. Hilton's been a very good receiver with the Colts, especially when Andrew Luck was healthy. He would have been a nice weapon for Eli Manning as well. That's it for the 2012 redraft. That's it for today's podcast. I'll be back tomorrow recapping Game 7 between the Lightning and the Capitals. Game 5 between the Cavs and the Celtics. Go over all the baseball. I'll be also doing my 2012 NBA redraft, and I'll go over the best pickups of the baseball offseason, and not just under the radar ones, but the overall best ones. I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.